does have some seasonal variation, so we can see how that works in software tools like Insight. We are going to use the database, the data set behind these charts here from the Truthful Art that I described before. Let me explain very quickly what these are showing. These are basically displaying the percent of people in Spain between 16 years old and 65 years old who are affiliated to the Social Security. And I'm using these numbers because Social Security affiliation is a good proxy variable to find out how many people have accessed the job market in a country like Spain. So as you can see, in good years like 2006 to 2007, a high percentage of people in between 16 years old and 65 years old were affiliated to the Social Security. But if you go after the crisis, so this is 2008, that number goes down very, very sharply. And it only starts recovering later on, right? So a little bit more than half half of adult people, the adult population in Spain, is affiliated to the Social Security system, or was affiliated to the Social Security system in 2014. Now we have this data set. If you want to download it, you can go to my website, upper right corner, tutorials and resources, and then when you click on that, you scroll down, and down here you will see the links related to the current tutorial, which is tutorial number 4, and you have download the Spanish Social Security data. If you click on that, this will take you to my Dropbox folder. It will display the entire data set, and then you will be able to download it just clicking on a little arrow that will appear on the upper right corner. So this is the data set. You just go here, download, click on that arrow, direct download, and that will download the CSV, which is called One Spanish Social Security Affiliations by Month. Okay, so I already have that data set, so I'm going to go directly to Insight, go to the File menu, Import Data. I downloaded this to my desktop, so I'm going to go to the desktop, Spanish Social Security Affiliations by Month, double click on that, click on OK, and the data set is ready to be analyzed. Now notice that here we have several variables again. We have the month, Social Security affiliates, this is the row number. This is the population between 16 and 64. I said that wrong before. It's not between 16 and 65. It's between 16 and 64 years old. And then the percentage. So this is the percent of population who are affiliated to Social Security. And this is the difference between the current number and the yearly average, okay, of every year. Then this is it month by month from 2002 to 2014. Now, if we go to the plot menu, to the advanced menu, time series, you will see that Insight has guessed correctly what the time variable is. So whenever you write the time variable this way, Jan, and then like a little slash or a little line in there, an underline or something, and then the year. In many cases, Insight will be able to guess that is a time variable. So you will be able to basically click on, for example, percentage, which is the percent of people who are affiliated to the Social Security, and then plot the data. But in this case, I don't think that it has done it. And how do I know? Well, because even if I select time variable here, if then I go to values and select here percentage, all these buttons are disabled. So this will not work. If all these buttons are disabled, it means that Insight has not been able to guess correctly what the time variable is or how the time variable works. In that case, in cases like this, you need to provide the time information. You need to manually input this information. So this menu, I'm going to click on that, all right? Click on that and then click on Create. This menu is a little bit obscure, so let me explain what this means. You have like 3 things that you need to fill out: start date, season number, and then the frequency. This is how this works. Start date is the year, all right? The year where the time series, when the time series begins. In our case, that year is 2002. So I'm going to type here 2002. Season number is the first month or the first quarter or the first trimester or the first whatever it is that appears in your data set. So if, for example, your data set is divided into months, all right, and the first month of the sequence is January 2002, January, the season number will be 1. because January is the first month of 2002. But if it were, for example, March, the number that you would need to input here would be 3. Okay, and then the frequency is the number of subdivisions of the year. Right? So in this case, we have monthly data. Therefore, the frequency will be 12. But this is important to remember. If, for example, you were going to play with quarterly data, like the year is divided into 4 quarters, the frequency would be 4. Okay, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. And if the data you have begun on quarter number 2 of 2002, you will need to basically input here the number 2. This is what I guess of how this thing works. But in our case, we have January 2002, therefore I'm going to type here 1 because that is January 2002. The frequency will be 12, and then I will click on Provide Time Series Info, TS Info. Right? So we are ready to go. Now if I select percentage again here, you will see that all these options will be enabled again. So I basically can click on time series plot, and this will show me, well, actually it doesn't show anything because the pop-up window has appeared behind. Okay, this is the first time series here. Okay, it's overlaying the actual observed values and the trend line. As you can see, this is the trend line. If we want to decompose these things, if we want to separate trends from seasonality, etc., we will need to do it differently. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to move the inside window around so I can see the time series pop-up window. I'm actually going to move these to the side. Let me just do something here. Alright, so here I'm going to move this thing here, the time series here, and the pop-up window over here so I can see everything again. Now, if I click on decompose, what will happen is that this will show me something really similar to what I had on the page of the Truthful Art. We have the observed values, we have the trend line, we have the seasonality, the seasonal swing or the seasonal variation, and then we have the residuals, which is basically the variation that is not explained by the seasonal swing and the other variables that we have over here. So basically we have the same panel that we had over here. So this is similar to what I did to design those charts for the Truthful Art. Although I use R code, this is something that can be done as well with Insight, as you can see. Now, I have just noticed, by the way, that there is a season plot over here that I have never tried. So let me see what happens if we click on that season plot. There you go. This is interesting. Now, what is this? Well, this is basically showing you the variation within each one of the years. So we have on the y-axis you have the percent of people who are affiliated to Social Security. Down here you have the months, right? And then each one of the lines corresponds to a year. So this chart will let you see that 2007 was a very good year overall, right? 2007 in most months. In 2007, a high percentage of people were affiliated to Social Security, and the worst month, all right, was probably the worst years were 2012, 2013, and 2014 in terms of percentage of people who are or were affiliated to Social Security in Spain. So this is how you tell Insight, how you provide Insight with times information in case that Insight is not able to guess what the time variable is, and then also how you design this kind of the decomposed charts that show you the seasonal swing and other interesting facts about the data set that you're playing with.